So this is I guess, a response to a request from the neo-atheist. He asked me nicely. He said, "Please take it down," and I assume that he means the last video that I made about him, which was just in jest and ribbing him. And I don't think anyone made that much of it. But I think that longtime viewers of my channel know that if there's one thing in this world that really pisses me off, it's people wanting other people's videos to disappear. Now, sometimes that happens with flagging, sometimes it happens with DMCAs, and sometimes it just happens with, peer pressure or just asking nicely. And sometimes I get the feeling that the peer pressure and the asking nicely are just pretense, you know? When someone says, please take your video down, when you don't, you're the asshole. And you know what? If it's about my speech being out there, my videos being out there, I don't have a problem being painted as the asshole who leaves his videos up. I said it. It's out there. I can say other things about it, which will change the context of it. But as far as any of my videos are concerned, I think you'll find that many people in the past have found it like pulling teeth to try to get me to remove any video that I've ever made. In fact, I am actually known for archiving a lot of YouTube that I view. As I'm watching videos, I like to download them so that people don't take them down and, remove all, responses to that, and try to, rewrite history like they never said something, That kind of pisses me off. So yeah, I'm not taking anything down. And even if I end up annotating something that I say, to say that I've changed my mind so that people can click on my new stance on whatever the fuck it is, I feel like leaving up all of my mistakes. It's just the kind of person I am, I don't try to sweep things under the rug. My mistakes are real. They're me. So yeah, kindly no. But I feel like there has always been some sort of underlying tension between the neo-atheist and I, and it's not that I have a few friends that hate his guts. I don't pick my friends based on who my other friends like or dislike. But I can tell you exactly where I started to have this irritation from the neo-atheist. I'm looking at it right on my screen. I pulled it up so I could refresh my memory as to when it started. And it was Thursday, May 30th, and it was around 10:18 to 10:20. Some things that the neo-atheist wrote me. I will read that. He can show you the entire context if you want, but Basically, he said, I have not attacked one atheist in a video yet and would not like to have to. I still think you guys going after atheists when there is a world of theists to take on is stupid. It only creates drama that is not needed. Talk to you later. So yeah, that's where I started to get irritated by him. And I did respond, and I said that I give the advice that I was giving him to anyone, and I chose to give it to him because I felt like maybe he could benefit from it. And I disagree with the sentiment that we should direct our criticisms only at those who do not share our religious affiliation. Like, you know, we shouldn't just not criticize atheists and only criticize Christians and theists. And I said at that point, I said, if you'd like to talk about how I came to that stance on another day, I will happily oblige you. And that day never came. And in fact, right now, the neo-atheist has blocked me on Skype, you know, because it makes so much sense that when you have a problem with someone, you should just shut down all methods of communication that you could have, you know, to mediate with them. So I'm just going to take this opportunity on my own soapbox to explain how I came to that stance, that I don't agree that we should not pick on other atheists as atheists and only pick on Christians. I don't agree with that. Okay? A couple days ago, I was in my market, and the church that is in the same shopping complex as us, they're moving out. They've been giving me hand-me-downs from the, you know, them moving out. They're not going to need some things that they're using in the building, so they're just giving them to me in my market. And I've been pretty nice to a couple of their members. They've been pretty nice to me. And my actual stance on anything really hasn't come up. In fact, I have a really good rapport with one of their deacons that comes in with barbecued pulled pork all the time. And I have a wonderful time chatting with him. But nobody's really asked me how I feel about things. We just kind of help each other out. They needed something to paint with, and I gave them a couple of painting supplies, like a telescoping paintbrush handle, the kind that you put a roller on and it telescopes to like 40 feet high. Anyways, I had two of them. They gave me some things, like this coming Saturday they're giving me some office dividers, but this past week they gave me something strange. It seems that they are not going to be selling from their church store within their church any get well cards anymore. They just made the decision that, hey, you know, we're probably not going to have a store in this new church that we're moving to. We're just going to, you know, let people go out to like the family Christian center stores and stuff like that, because there's plenty of them around town. And I guess nobody was buying up their gift cards. So they brought this entire gift card stand over to my market and gave it to me. And it had all Christian cards in it. And one of the things that was also in this stand of like postcards and get well cards and graduation cards and all that, I brought this to make this point. This right here was in the stand. And it was free. This is free copy right there, right? This is the Christian Business Directory. So, basically, what I gather from this is that people in their church like to get copies of this, or at least those who are running the store in the church, or maybe the pastor, they like copies of this present in the church, so that when church members spend money in the community, they can make sure that they are spending money at Christian stores only. This is an exclusive club here, right? This Christian Business Directory. Funny thing, if they knew that my business, my market, was not owned by a Christian, they might not be friendly with me anymore. You know? They're the kind of people that enjoy only patronizing Christian businesses. And they wheeled this right into a market owned by somebody who isn't a member of their religion. And I've shown this, and the other copies that were in the stand. I've shown this to a couple of other people. Jeannie, one of the booth renters in my market, and she agreed with me that this was a good example of Christian bigotry. I showed it to the founding members of We Are Women, and tried to make an analogy of, like, would it be smart for women to make a directory like this for just women-owned businesses? And of course, it was laughed off as something that was stupid, because there are men who support women's rights, and you'd want to have them in women's rights directory if you were only going to support businesses that supported women's rights, So you wouldn't have to actually be a woman to be in a directory that they would be okay with, and any directory that would be misandrist, they would never ever do. But this directory here, for some reason this gets a pass, Even Becky, the president of the American Humanist Association, she was in my store, and I showed it to her, and she took a copy herself so she could use it as an example in some of the things that she does, because it is blatant. If you're not Christian, you're not supposed to get patronized by the Christians who read this. They put this out there for that purpose, to make sure that Christian businesses succeed and Christians don't give any money to anyone who isn't a Christian at all, ever. And this reminded me of the neo-atheist, because of his stance that as an atheist, I should not attack other atheists, and I should only attack theists. Don't know actually if he still holds to that because, I'm blocked and can't really talk to him right now. But he did hold that position. And after having a problem with me making a video ribbing him, he has made videos. All of his last videos seem to be about theists and not attacking any atheists. So he seems to be holding to that principle. I don't hold to that principle because I don't think that atheism in and of itself is the primary thing that I draw upon for making decisions and discerning reality and truth. I'm more of a skeptic, and so using atheism as the foregone conclusion for me is not really natural. It just doesn't feel right. Skepticism is that, that model that I use to address the world, and my atheism or igtheism, it springs forth from my skepticism. You know what I'm saying? So it's more primary. When you say that you shouldn't attack people because they wear the term atheist, that makes atheism that primary thing. Where, I think you should even attack people who are skeptics, or at least try to don the label. And by attack, I mean scrutinize. I think that nobody is beyond reproach. And you can imagine a book like this, or maybe a web page that listed the YouTube atheist directory, and then if you think that anybody who's part of that club that you are in is, somehow untouchable, and it's taboo to question anything that they say, then maybe you left religion, in the theism world, and you wanted to join a different religion club where you just don't have a god. But you still have dogma, you still have taboos, you still have people who are beyond reproach and you can't question. And I didn't leave religion behind to join one of those clubs. And I think that's what's this underlying tension between the neo-atheist and I, is that I see joining clubs like that as being the first step towards all of the bigotry in the world that I hate. The first step in this Christian business directory is people joining the club of Christians where they just decide that their Christian culture is better than all the other cultures, and so they should patronize it more. And when I say bigotry, a lot of people just don't even know the definition of it, and I really think that everyone should look it up. And if you're in the Great Debate community, maybe look it up once a month to refresh your memory that it's not like a word that only white people wear. It's not the opposite of nigger, like bigot, nigger and bigot. No, they're not. They're not antonyms, I guess. But in usage, it seems that a lot of people who don't understand what the words mean, they seem to use it that way. And really, if you start just declaring that atheism is the be-all, end-all, not because it was well thought out with some sort of methodology that you're holding as primary, but instead you're holding your position as primary, as the reason why you are making judgments about people, and the reason why you behave in a certain way. You're just you're falling into a trap of bigotry that it's just as bad as this, and if you weren't wanting to call atheism a club of people that don't criticize each other, don't police their own, and act just like Christians, only it's a different club, then you're not the same type of atheist that I am. And I'd say my animosity towards that position isn't something that I would hold against someone forever. When somebody has their mind grow to the dimensions of this larger idea that the path of bigotry is not something we need to go down. Yeah, there's still room at my table for people when they grow up. But if the neo-atheist is going to forever be stuck in this this pattern of being so neo about his atheism, I think he needs to look around him and realize that first thing on the menu for atheists is babies. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to have thicker skin if you're going to be in this game.